In this episode, we visit one of the biggest ghost towns in the world, which was once one of the most popular destinations in the world, Varosha in Cyprus. This ghost town is abandoned and forbidden since 1974 and guarded by soldiers. We take a look inside the recently opened zone and also in the closed zone. After visiting a shipwreck and a power station, it's time to visit our main goal, Varosha, or Maras in Turkish. To get to Varosha, we need to cross from south to North Cyprus. While driving, we see military posts everywhere. It mostly looks like a war zone. We also see a lot of ghost towns. It's tempting to explore them, but armed soldiers make sure nobody crosses this land.
It's a real hassle with all the paperwork, COVID stuff, to cross multiple borders, and we're rejected at the border. So we followed the rules we found on the internet. Everything had to be uploaded online in a special application. And now they say everything has to be printed. So I have a few papers printed, but not everything. So we're gonna spend the whole day searching for the print shop. Oh, such a waste of time. We're lucky.
Luckily, it's fixed within 2 hours, and we managed to cross the border.
Woohoo! Oh my god.
This remind me to Japan, to Route 6.
Yeah.
On the left, the right side, forbidden zone, and the fences. Just drive.
Crazy.
Driving.
It's a really long road.
There are fences with military signs everywhere, and you are not allowed to film or photograph. So what exactly happened here? Well, Cyprus has a complicated history, so I keep it as basic as possible. Cyprus was part of the British Empire from 1914 to 1960. In 1960 they became independent, but there was no established cooperation between the Greek and Turkish Cypriot populations. In July 1974, there was a coup by right-wing Greek nationalists. The Turkish invasion in Cyprus was just 5 days later. The United Nations set up a buffer zone through the country to prevent further collision. The south is Greek Cypriot, the north is Turkish Cypriot. The red line is the buffer zone, guarded by the United Nations, and the orange zones are British sovereign territory. After all these years, there is still no resolution and the country is still split up in two. We have visited more abandoned places related to this conflict, like the Nicosia airport. During the Turkish invasion, the airport was the scene of some of the heaviest fighting between Cypriot and Turkish forces, which led the United Nations Security Council to declare it a United Nations protected area during the conflict. Nowadays, the headquarters of the United Nations is located on this airport, which is still in the buffer zone. Since 1974, this terminal has been frozen in time. Another place we explored was the Ghost Car Park, near Episcopi. During the Turkish invasion, many Turkish Cypriots left cars, motorbikes and buses because of the confusing situation. Around 400 vehicles were collected in the compound and waiting for their owners to pick them up. Here you can find dozens of 1960s era Austins, Dodges and Vauxhalls, but none of them is usable anymore. This time we visit Varosha, which was the Saint-Tropez of Cyprus before the conflict. It was not only the #1 tourist destination in Cyprus, but one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world in the beginning of the 70s. It also attracted many celebrities. There were at least 110 hotels and new high-rises were being built due to increasing tourism. During the invasion, the city turned into a ghost town in just a few hours. The Turkish army seized control and fenced the area. Since then, no entry has been allowed other than Turkish military and United Nations personnel. In 2020, the Turks opened a little part of Varosha to tourists and want to rehabilitate the whole area.
We're back in Famagusta. Hopefully more successful this time. Last time I ran out of time, so I couldn't go into the zone. Now it's partly opened and we can see the first abandoned hotels
Over there.
We arrived at Varosha. We just saw the entrance. So today is gonna be the tourist day. We're gonna check which roads are open, patrols, everything, and just have a relaxed day. And then we're gonna make the plan, the master plan.
Relaxed day.
Yeah. Maybe rent a bicycle, it will be fun.
You have this, nice flowers. And then you have this.
Yeah. Have to try to make a decent fence.
Yes.
Try it.
First, we take a look at Palm Beach, where you can see a long coast filled with abandoned hotels and guard posts.
The real tourist here.
Zalig.
Yeah.
Too warm.
Too hot. Too hot, yeah.
Yeah.
So this whole coastline is abandoned, or actually was abandoned. A few are in use again as a resort for soldiers. Crazy, right?
After some pictures and a beer, it's time to go to the recently opened zone.
First steps into Varosha. Yeah. Or Mauras in Turkish. It's pretty touristic, as you can see, a lot of people. Nice. I think there are even vans driving around here, eh? You can run bikes.
Are these right?
Damn, look how many there are. Quite a lot, eh? It's ready for mass tourism. We're gonna make some shots with the GoPro and then we're gonna see which streets are open. Gonna be a nice ride. Oh, kijk hier! Kijk hier! Ja, look at this bike. No. They're both the same.
Maar je pakt een andere gewoon.
Ja. Hier? I guess so.
Ja, maar remmies.
Ja.
Ja, doet hij.
Yeah. They made new roads to make it more accessible. It's pretty surreal to walk here. A city that closed 47 years ago. And 47 years it was forbidden to come here. Here's a reminder. They fought. Really gigantic bullet holes. Here as well.
For an urban explorer, these post-apocalyptic scenes are a dream, but for many people this was a nightmare. Imagine you had to flee, leave everything behind, and were not able to come back or pick up some valuable items. This happened to around 40,000 residents, mostly Greek Cypriotic. During the years, most valuables were looted and the buildings turned into ruins. The opening of Varosha complicates the reunifying of Cyprus. According to the Greek side, the opening is illegal and unacceptable, but are also unwilling to make any deal with the Turks. Varosha is protected by a 1984 United Nations Security Council decision, stating that the empty town can only be resettled by its original residents. Turkey lets former residents claim or sell their houses or hotels, but there are two problems. Most residents are elderly or passed away. Another problem is that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is only recognized by Turkey, and Greek Cypriots don't want to move abroad. It's a really difficult and sensitive subject.
Walking in the main street. Here's a nice Greek school for girls.
This part was the heart of the city, with fancy stores and bars for tourists and locals, and it's strange to see it totally deserted. While walking in the street, it's nice to see the graphic design, logos and famous brands from a few decades ago. As you can see, the interiors have been almost completely emptied.
Cruising around.
It's funny that they make the roads around the
Collapsed building.
building.
Yeah.
The signs and military and police force remind you that it's still a military zone.
Totally flat tire. Great. Day one.
We get to the long street, where all former beach resorts are located.
Oh my god. Here, a nice villa or something. Oh, crazy. Oh my gosh. You don't realize how big it is until you come here.
Really big.
And drive around yourself, yeah.
It's such a big area, man.
even when you see it in Google Earth, it looks way bigger in real life.
Oh, it's look like the end.
Oh really? Oh no. Woo.
Okay, okay.
We're now at the most eastern point in the open zone. Further areas will probably open in the near future. A part of the beach in the middle of the closed zone is also accessible, and here you can have a break, eat and drink. It's strange to see all these abandoned high-rises next to a beautiful beach. Here you can also see some unfinished hotels. Construction halted after the invasion and the cranes are still there. The building suffered a lot. Most windows are gone. There seems to be only one hotel which is still in a good condition, but it's almost impossible to get there. Flying with a drone doesn't seem like a good idea, because many helicopters fly low around the city. So we've taken a tour around the recently opened zone of Varosha, but how about the part that is still forbidden? It's a military zone and soldiers are allowed to shoot you. I guess nowadays that won't happen anymore, but you're still in big trouble, because it's a sensitive area. The signs in the open zone look really inviting, compared to the military signs on the outer fence, and it seems it's not even forbidden to enter buildings. But reality turned out to be different. It's still strictly forbidden to cross any fence or rope. There are many high-tech cameras and there's a big police force in the zone. In cars, electric steps and bicycles. And when you look closely, you can see the most police in the zone are dressed as civilians. You probably didn't notice, but during a little cycling trip we came across many of them. When you start to look for them, they are easy to spot. So going into the forbidden zone seems pretty difficult. But then, without even noticing, we were in it. We didn't have to sneak in or jump any fence.
We're now in a less busy part. We just followed the open road and suddenly we're here. Which is a bit strange, eh? But it's nice.
So since we're in, we decide to do a little tour in the forbidden zone on our bicycles.
Kijk wat dit is, jongen.
From this point we see the non-tourist part. No fences or new roads.
Links? Ja. Ik snap al niks van. Dat dit nou gewoon...
First time that we explore on a bike.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Not so bad, huh?
No, huh? Let's relax. Nice. Totally closed. I'm just gonna peek through.
Most places we came across have been emptied, but some places are frozen in time since 1974, like this church. It's shut tight for intruders, and we can only see its beauty through the windows. We decide to look around the area first and return another day to explore some buildings. This never happened, unfortunately, so we only have some bicycle footage and some beauty shots. On this point, it seems we're cycling out of the urban zone, so we return and decide to explore a taller building to have a view over the city. Unfortunately, I lost half of the material we shot, including a lot of footage from this area. A micro SD card got lost, and some had to be deleted. Luckily, Frederik filmed a little with his phone. Also, this building is almost completely empty. Maybe they are preparing the buildings for future use or demolition.
Look at the footprints. Many. Hey, be careful.
The view from up here is amazing. Now you really get the feeling you're inside an abandoned city. On top level, we suddenly hear a car. It stops nearby and we hear footsteps in the building. Only soldiers are allowed here, so we decide to leave as quickly as possible. Frederik already fled and is waiting for me nearby. From this part, we feel a little bit more safe and decide to check a few more streets before we return to the tourist zone.
constantly repairing the bike. It's terrible. Look, when I sit on it, I'll be penetrated.
Bike repair Bob Tissen.
That's my Camaro. My tires are flat, so we slowly have to return. But for the first day it was amazing, right? A little bit off-road cycling.
We're back in the tourist zone, but we notice there is a tense atmosphere. Undercover police is looking for something or somebody, and we are also obviously filmed. While cycling back to the entrance and making some more 360 footage and pictures, our adventure suddenly comes to an end.
So this was our first day of exploring Varosha. It was really amazing. I've never seen such a time capsule, but it ended a little bit unexpected. So we were just cycling and we didn't even have intentions to go to the Forbidden Zone, but suddenly we ended up there. We just cycled. I think at one point you had to go right or left, and then we went straight, but it was just a regular road, no signs, nobody stopped us, so we could just continue. And suddenly we noticed there are no tourists anymore, so we said, okay, well, could be some parts, but maybe after 10-15 minutes we realized, okay, we are in the Forbidden Zone. But okay, we went back, and I still want to make 360 shots in the normal zone, which is opened. And then suddenly we were stopped by police, and we also noticed there's a lot of underground police, and there are a lot of people walking, and also on bicycle. They were filming us, right?
Yeah.
They were filming us, and yeah, in the end we got stopped. And they saw on cameras that we went into the Forbidden Zone, and then we have to show everything and delete everything. So that was our first day, and perhaps the last. Yeah, well, so now we're gonna check what we'll do. First we're gonna eat something, right?
Yeah. Doe.
Oh well.
Unfortunately, our adventure ended way too soon, but we were happy to have seen a part of Varosha. We hope people will live here again together in peace in the future.